Good morning, everyone. Welcome to math class. Yep, you saw it. 4 math lessons today. Now, before you start moaning and groaning, let me explain what we're going to do. The first 2 lessons are still about 2D objects, and we're going to take small shapes and fit them into bigger shapes, okay? The last 2 lessons today, we are going to be learning about 3D objects, okay? So we're going to do a little bit of 2D, and then we're going to learn about 3D today. So I know it's going to go fast, but the reason we have to kind of skip over these first 2 lessons, because we don't have all of these tools outside of room 205. Now, if you would like to do these at your house, I'm going to show you how I did them on my own. Now, you do not need to do this back piece of paper. So if you just want to cut out this hexagon, you can do that, okay? So just go ahead and cut that out. And then I'm going to trace this. You see how I traced it? And I'm going to cut out a whole bunch of them with scrap paper. You can even use an old newspaper. Just use scrap paper, okay? As long as you can see one side. You can see these are just old pieces of paper. And I'm going to try the experiment using my scrap paper. I want to know how many trapezoids I can fit into this piece of paper, into that hexagon. Now, you know what I did? I kind of eyeballed it. I folded it in half. And can you see how many hexagons would be in there? Thank you, Javi. I heard that. You would put 2. Very good. Now the next one is a little bit harder. There's a rhombus. How many of those would fit into this shape? Now I'm going to get another one and sketch them out. Now remember, they're not going to be so easy as this one. You're going to have to turn and switch, okay? And then we need to know how many triangles, okay? Now I'm going to give you a hint. I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to fold my paper. Now remember, you can use a pencil to draw. Now do you see how many triangles are in that hexagon? Made it quite easy. Now, if we were in the classroom, you would just be using all these little tiny shapes that we would have in a big bin. All right, now I just happen to have a really cool game that's very old. It's called Playful Patterns. And inside, I think maybe some of you have these things at home. There's cards with foam shapes, and you can build pictures or build things using those shapes, okay? Now the same thing, I took the circle, and how many quarter circles could I put into that circle? Do you see that? Now if I had another hand, I'm going to lay them right on top. Do you see how many quarter circles might be in a circle? All right, remember, you can do all of that on your own. We're just going to skip over it because we don't have all the tools that we would have if we were in our room, okay? 14.5, it's just making pictures out of shapes, okay? Now, if you wanted to use some of that colored paper, you could make your own shapes at your own house and build your own pictures, okay? Save those for a rainy day, all right? Now, let's get started on 14.6 and 14.7. Today is a great day. We are going to start 3D objects. Remember, 3D. D stands for dimensional. Remember that? 3D. Remember, it goes up, it goes across, and it comes out. And I can hold it in my hand. All right. Now let's look at page number 577, okay? We're going to start with the cube. Now, do you see? It goes up, it goes across, and it sticks out. And I can hold it in my hand. It has mass. It is something. It's not flat like a square. So don't ever call this a square. Does it have squares on it? Absolutely. It has lots of squares on it. But do you see? It has lots of sides, and I can hold it in my hand. That makes it three-dimensional. All right, let's go to the next one. And I know some of you are saying circle, but it is not a circle. It's not flat. It is 3D, which means I can hold it in my hand. Does it go up? Does it go across? And does it stick out? Sure does. But does it have any flat sides? Ooh, that's a question. The next one. Oh, I like this one. This is a fun shape. It's very easy to remember because if I turn it upside down, it looks like an ice cream. Liza, our favorite twist and shout? Absolutely, it looks like an ice cream cone, a cone. All right, let's go to this next one. Rectangular prism. I love to say that, and I think it's like it needs to be said in a funny voice, right? Rectangular prism. A rectangular prism, you guessed it. Thank you, Luke. It is full of rectangles. Rectangles that go up, across, but it also sticks out, and I can hold it in my hand, which means it is three-dimensional, okay? All right. And the last one on my list, on my first page, is a cylinder. Let's say that word together. Cylinder. Remember, the C makes the Y. Pretend that he is a vowel. Cylinder. Cylinder. It's round, but it also has some flat sides. Okay. Now, we're going to go through this. We're going to see if we can find objects around your house that resemble these 3D objects, okay? And I'll let you do that, and we're going to skip on over to the next page. Now, we're also thinking about attributes. Remember, attributes is my math word that's kind of like adjectives. Remember, what makes these 3D objects different? What describes them? All right, now here's my pile of 3D shapes. All right, here's my pile. A sphere, a cone, a cube, a cylinder, and a rectangular prism. Now, I'm just going to grab the cone because I like the cone. The flat surfaces are called the face, okay? A flat surface on a 3D object is a face, okay? Flat surface. The flat surfaces of a cone or a cylinder are what? What shape? They are circles. Is this a flat surface or is this a flat surface? No, they're just the sides and they're not flat. These shapes, the cone or the cube and the rectangular prism, they have nothing but flat surfaces. So they have a lot of faces. Okay, faces are the flat sides. They do not have any round sides, do they? Nope. All they have are faces. All the points, remember we learned this just a few days ago, the points are the vertices, so they still have lots of vertices. And guess what else they have? Does that look like a line? Do you see all the lines? Those are the edges. And when two shapes come together to create a 3D object, where they connect, they have points and they have straight lines. The lines are the edge, the points are the vertices, okay? And the flat surface is a face. Wow, that's a lot to remember, isn't it? All right, now the last one we're going to talk about is the sphere. Does he have a face? Nope, no face, because if I put him down, he just wiggles. There's no flat surface for him to get sat down on. There are no flat surfaces. Does he have any edges? Are there any lines where things come together? Nope. And are there any points? No. He has a very special shape. I know he looks like a circle, and if we cut him in half, which I could do through the magic of television, here's I cut one right in half, and look what happens if I cut it in half. You see a perfect circle right down the middle. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, now we're going to talk about how many faces and flat surfaces each of these objects have. Now, if you need to have one in your hand, you might want to go find something that looks like that in your house, okay? All right. Let's start with the rectangular prism. The number of faces or flat surfaces is 6. And let's count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 2 ends, 5, 6. The number of vertices. Okay, now this one's kind of hard. There's 4 of them right on the top. And if I turn it around, there's 4 more back there. So 4 plus 4, 8. Good job. That's how many points there are. Now the number of edges. Now this one, you're going to have to maybe have Mom help you with this. We're going to count all the lines, okay? All right, here we go. 1, and we're going to just move this around. 2, 3, 4, go around. Now we need to do the edges. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have to do the other side. 9, 10, 11, 12 lines or edges. There we go. The cone will be a little bit easier. How many faces or flat surfaces? Great. Thank you, Caden. There is only one. The number of vertices. That means the points. How many points? Any points on the circle? No. Does it come to a point? Sure does. It's really a very cool shape. There is 1. And how many edges? Are there any straight lines that you can see? It looks like this, like when I'm holding it up, it looks like there's 2, but remember, this is round. So that is a 0. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, let's flip on over. We're going to do the sphere. And they used a soccer ball here. Number of flat surfaces, 0. Number of vertices, again, 0. And number of edges, 0. Let's do the cube. Ooh, how many faces? Correct. Thank you, Wes. It's 6. And you already know the trick, don't you? It's going to be the same as our rectangular prism, okay? How many vertices? 1, 2, 3, 4. And turn it over. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. And remember the edges or the lines. And that one's a little bit trickier. We got to go all the way around and don't forget the edges. So we did it 3 times. 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12. Okay, the next one. It's actually a cylinder. Now mine looks like a Pringles can. This one in your book looks like a drum. So I'm going to get out a different copy of that, okay? Here's another one. How many flat surfaces does a cylinder have? Good job. Thank you, Kaylin. 2. All right. Number of vertices. Eleanor, any points? Nope. Middle of a donut. 0. And Alley Cat, any edges on here? Any straight lines? Nope. That's also a 0. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, we're going to keep on moving. You may do the next page by yourself. And then we're going to skip on over to 14.7. Do not do that page, okay? We're going to open it up. And I want you to do number 1 about cones. I want you to do number 2, cubes. Number 3, cylinders, okay? And that's it. And you're done, okay? All right, see you this afternoon on Zoom. Bye-bye.